Good afternoon. Om Sri Manjunathaya Namaha. Dhanvantaraya Namaha. Myself, Dhaneshwari H.A. wish you a pleasant evening to all the dignitaries of Charaka Sambhasha, Section 25, Ejjabrishya Adhyaya, organized by STM College of Ayurveda and Hospital, Udupi, in association with Department of Ayush, Government of Karnataka, Vishwa Ayurveda Parishad Karnataka, and Government Ayurvedic Research Center, Mysore. I take the pleasure of welcoming Dr. Mamta Kevi, Principal, STMC Udupi, for gracing this occasion. Hearty welcome to Dr. Lakshmi Narayan Chennai, Government Ayurvedic Research Center, Mysore. Dr. B.R.K. Government Ayurveda College, Hyderabad, Telangana State. I also welcome Dr. Niranjan Rao, Dean, PG and PhD Studies, and Dr. Nagaraj, MS, SEMC Udupi, to this program. Hearty welcome to the PG scholars who presenting today's Parayana, Dr. Gagana Sindhu and Dr. Nimisha, PG scholars of Department of Kaya Chikitsa, Dr. B.R.K. Government Ayurveda College, also an organizing secretary of Charaka Sambhasha. I welcome Dr. Srinidhi Danya, Dr. Arhan, Dr. Yogesh Acharya, Dr. Arun Kumar, Dr. Nishant Pai, Dr. Sadanand Bhatt, members of organizing committee of this event. I also welcome Dr. Srikanthbabu, who was a former organizing secretary of Charaka Sambhasha, and members and officials of Department of Ayush, Government of Karnataka, Vishwa Ayurveda Parishad Karnataka on this occasion, and also to all the audience of Charaka Sambhasha Section 25. Before proceeding with the same, I would like to invite Dr. Vishnupriya, PG Scholar, Department of Kaya Chikitsa, to invoke the Almighty for his blessing.
Shambho Girisha Surapujita Kamavairim Gaurisha Shankara Maheshwara Vishwahetu Shambho Girisha Surapujita Kamavairim Gaurisha Shankara Maheshwara Vishwahetu धर्मस्थलेश सकलेश दयापयो कुरु मंगलम धर्मस्थलेश सकलेश दयापयो श्री मंजुनाथनतराम कुरु मंगलम Guru Mangalam me, Guru Mangalam me.
Thank you, Dr. Vishnupriya. Now, I would like to give a brief introduction of today's guest speaker, Dr. Srikanthbabu Perugu, Principal in charge, Professor and Head, Dr. B.R.K. Government Ayurveda College, Hyderabad, Telangana State. Dr. Srikanthbabu Perugu completed BMS from SV University, Tirupati, Andhra Pradesh, MD Kaya Chikitsa from University of Mysore, Karnataka. Present positions of Sir are Principal in charge, Dr. B.R.K. Government Ayurvedic College, Hyderabad, Senate Member, Chairman, P. Board of Studies, Chief Superintendent of Examinations, Kaluchi Narayana Rao University of Health Science, Professor and Head, Member Secretary, Institutional Ethical Committee, Chairman, Technical Committee, PG Studies and PG Guide of Dr. B.R.K. Government Ayurvedic College, Hyderabad, Technical Member of State Ethical Committee of 2017, External Expert and Examiner for 8 universities, with more than 3 decades of clinical practice and has treated more than 3 lakh patients, invited by 8 countries for technical expertise, including USA, Australia, London, European Union, Thailand, Bali, Indonesia. Coordinator of many Ayurveda Congress, participant along with the Guinness Book of World Records, also bagged 11 world records, awarded with Best Teach Award by Samskara and Paravasu Foundation 2016 at Hyderabad, International Ayurveda Excellence Award by Arkush and Health Science at Bangkok of Thailand 2018, Ayurveda Sevak Award 2018, Best Employee Award from Commissioner, Department of Ayush Telangana on Independence Day of 2021, was a member, Inspector, Visitation Committee, CCIM. Sir has published 16 plus publications in peer-reviewed journals, organized 30 scientific sessions, published 5 books, involved in various research projects, guided 35 PG scholars on various topics, was resource person in various platforms. It's indeed a pleasure to have you here with us, sir. Sir has many more credits to his CV. I just briefed the CV. Moving on, I would like to invite the PG scholars of Kaya Chikitsa Department, Dr. Gagana Singh, Dr. Nimisha, for the Parayana. Dr. Gagana Singh and Dr. Nimisha, you can continue with the Parayana.
Namaste all. I will recite Charaka Samhita Sutrasthana 25th chapter Yajapurushiya Madhyayam. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible, ma'am. You can continue.
Okay, thank you. Charakam Sutra 25th chapter first sloka. Tamuvaja Bhagavan Atreyaha Hidahara Upayoga Eke Purusha Vruddhigaro Bhavati Ahidahara Upayoga Punar Vyadi Nimittamidi. Evam Vadinam Bhagavanda Matreya Magnivesha Uvaja Kadamai Bhagavan Hida Ahidana Mahara Jadanam Lakshanam Anabhavadam Abhijani Mahe Kriya Bhumi Deha Dosha Purusha Avastandareshu Viparita Karitvam Ubalabha Maha Idi. Sama and Vishamashana. Tamuvaja Bhagavan Atreyaha Yad Aharajada Magnivesha Samamsheva Sharira Dadun Pragradau Stabe Vishamamsha Samigarodi Ityedat Hiddi. Viparidam tu ahidamidi. Ityedat hida ahida lakshana manabhavadam bhavadi. Evam vadinam cha bhagavandam atreya magnivesha uvaja bhagavan. Na tu edat ubadishtam bhuishta kalpaha sarva bishajo vijnasyandi. Origin of dietetic materials. Tadyada aharatvam aharasya egavidam arthabedat sa punardviyonihi stavara jangamatmagatvad. Dividaha prabhavaha Hida Ahida Udarka Visheshad Chadirvido Upayogaha Pana Ashana Bhakshya Lehyobayogad Aswadaha Rasabedadaha Shadvidatwad Vimshadi Gunaha Guru Lagu Shido Ushna Snigda Ruksha Manda Tikshna Stira Sara Mrudu Kadina Vishada Pichila Slakshna Gara Sushma Stula Sandra Dravanu Gamad Abari Sankheya Vigalpaha Dravya Samyoga Karana Bahulyad. Most wholesome and dietitials. Tadyada Lohita Shalayaha Shugadhanyanam Pattitamatve Sreshtatama Bhavanti Mudgaha Shamidhanyanam Andariksha Mudaganam Saindavam Lavananam Jivandagam Shaganam Ainayam Mrigamamsanam Lavaha Pakshinam Goda Vileshayanam Rohido Malsyanam Gevyam Sarpi Sarpisham Gokshiram Kshiranam Tilatailam Stavara Jada Nehanam Varaha Vasa Anuba Mrigavasanam Chuluki Vasa Malsya Vasanam Paga Hamsavasa Jalachara Vihangavasanam Kukudavasa Vishkira Shaguni Vasanam Ajameda Shagada Medasam Shringaveram Kandanam Rudviga Phalanam Sharkara Ikshuvigaranam Idi Pragriteva Hidatamanam Ahara Vigaranam Pradanyado Dravyani Vyakyadani Bhavanti. Unwholesome articles. Ahidatamanam Ubadekshya Maha Evagaha Shugadhanyanam Abattitamattvena Prakishtatama Bhavanti. Mashaha Shamidhanyanam Varshanadhe Mudaganam Usharam Lavananam Sarshabashagam Shaganam Gomamsam Mrigamamsanam Kanakaboda Pakshinam Bhego Vileshyanam Chilichimo Malsyanam Avikam Sarpihi Sarpisham Avikshiram Kshiranam Kusumba Sneha Stavara Snehanam Mahishavasa Anuba Mrigavasanam Kumbhiravasa Malsyavasanam Kagamadguvasa Jalachara Vihangavasanam Chadagavasa Vishkira Shaguni Vasanam Hastimeda Shagada Medasam നികുജം ഫലാനാം ആലൂകം കന്ദാനാം ഫണിതം ഇക്ഷ്വികാരാണാം ഇതി പ്രകൃത്യേവ അഹിതതമാനാം ആഹാരവികാരാണാം പ്രകൃഷ്ടതമാനി ദ്രവ്യാണി വ്യാഖ്യാതാനി ഭവന്തി. ഹിത അഹിത അവയവോ വ്യാഖ്യാത ആഹാരവികാരാണാം. താങ്ക് യു. Now Dr. Krishnapriya will continue the rest.
ചരക സൂത്രസ്ഥാന യജ്ഞപുരുഷി അധ്യായ അഗ്രൗഷധീസ് അധോ ഭൂയ കർമ്മൌഷധ പ്രാധാന്യതഃ സ അനുബന്ധാനി ദ്രവ്യാണ്യനുവ്യാഖ്യാസ്യാമഃ തദ്യത അന്നം വൃത്തികരാണാം ശ്രേഷ്ഠം ഉദകമാശ്വാസകരാണാം സുരാശ്രമഹരാണാം ക്ഷീരം ജീവനീയാനാം മാംസം ബ്രഹ്മണീയാനാം രസതർപ്പണീയാനാം ലവണം അന്നദ്രവ്യ രുചികരാണാം അമ്ലം ഹൃദ്യാനാം കുക്കുടോ ബല്യാനാം നക്രരേതോ വൃഷ്യാണാം മധു ശ്ലേഷ്മ പിത്ത പ്രശമനാനാം സർപ്പി വാദപിത്ത പ്രശമനാനാം തൈലം വാദശ്ലേഷ്മ പ്രശമനാനാം വമനം ശ്ലേമഹരാണാം വിരേചനം പിത്തഹരാണാം വസ്തിവാദഹരാണാം സ്വേദോ മാർദ്ദവകരാണാം വ്യായാമ സ്ഥൈര്യകരാണാം ക്ഷാര പുംസ്തു ഉപഘാതിക ആമകപിത്തം അകണ്ഠ്യാനാം അവികം സർപ്പി അഹൃദ്യാനാം അജാക്ഷീരം ശോഷജ്ഞ സ്തന്യ സാത്മ്യ രക്തസംഗ്രാഹിക രക്തപിത്ത പ്രശമനാനാം അവിക്ഷീരം ശ്ലേഷ്മപിത്ത ജനനാനാം महिषी क्षीरम स्वप्न जननानां मंदगम दधि अभिष्यन्तकराणां गवेदुगान्नं कर्षणीयानाम् उद्दालगान्नं विरूक्षणीयानां इक्षुमूत्र जननानां यव जननानां माशा श्लेष्म पित्त जननानां मदनबलं वमन स्थापनानुवासनोपयोगिनां त्रिव्र सुख विरेचनानां चतुरंगुलो मृदु विरेचनानां स्लुक्भय तीक्ष्ण विरेचनानां प्रत्यक पुष्प शिरो विरेचनानां विडंगम कृमिज्ञानां शिरीषो विषज्ञानां खदिर कुष्ठज्ञानां रास्ना वादहराणां आमलकं वयस्थापनानां हरिदगी पत्यानां एरण्डमूलं वृष्यवादहराणां पिप्पली मूलं दीपनीय पाजनीय अनाह प्रशमनानां चित्रकमूलं दीपनीय पाजनीय गुदशोभार्ष शूलहराणां पुष्करमूलं हिक्काश्वासकास पार्श्वशूलहराणां मुस्तं संग्राहिक दीपनीय पाजनीयानां उदीच्यं निर्वापण दीपनीय पाजनीय छर्दि अधिसारहराणां कट्वंगं संग्राहिक पाजनीय दीपनीयानां अनन्दा संग्राहिक रक्तपित्त प्रशमनानां अमृता संग्राहिक वादहर दीपनीय श्लेष्म शोणित विबन्ध प्रशमनानां बिल्वं संग्राहिक दीपनीय वातकप प्रशमनानां अधिविषा दीपनीय पाजनीय संग्राहिक सर्वदोषहराणां उत्पल पंजल का रक्त पित्त प्रशमनानां दुरालभ पित्त श्लेष्म प्रशमनानां गंध प्रियंगु शोणित पित्त श्लेष्म प्रशमनानां रजत्वक श्लेष्म पित्त रक्त संग्राही उपशोषणानां काश्मर्य फलं रक्त संग्राहिक रक्त पित्त प्रशमनानां कृष्णवर्णी संग्राहिक वादहर दीपनीय वृष्याणां विदारी गंधा वृष्य सर्वदोषहराणां बला संग्राहिक बल्यवादहराणां गोक्षुरगो मूत्रकृष्ण अनिलहराणां निर्यास छेदनीय दीपनीय अनुलोमिक वाद कप प्रशमनानां अम्लवेदसो भेदनीय दीपनीय अनुलोमिक वाद श्लेषहराणां यवशुग स्रंसनीय पाजनीय अर्षज्ञानां तक्राभ्यासो ग्रहणी दोष शोष अर्षज्ञानां क्षीरघृताभ्यासो रसायनानां समघृत सक्तो प्राशाभ्यासो वृष्यो उदावर्तहराणां तैलगण्डूषाभ्यासो दन्तबल रुचिकराणां चन्दनं दुर्गन्धहर दाह निर्वापण लेपनानां रास्ना गुरूणि शीतापनयन प्रलेपनानां लामज्ज कोशीरं दाहत्वक्दोष श्वेतापनयन प्रलेपनानां कुष्ठं वादहर अभ्यङ्ग उपनाहोपयोगिनां मधुगं चक्षुष्य वृष्य केश्य कण्ठ्य वर्ण्य विरजनीय रोपणीयानां वायु प्राणसज्ञा प्रधान हेतूनां अग्नि आम स्तंभ शीत शूलोद्वेपन प्रशमनानां जलं स्तंभनीयानां मृदृष्टोष्ट निर्वापितमुदगं तृष्णा छर्दि अधियोग प्रशमनानां अधिमात्राशन आम प्रदोष हेतूनां यदा अग्नि अभ्यवहारो अग्नि संदूक्षणानां यदा सात्म्यं चेष्टाभ्यवहारो सेव्यानां कालभोजनम् आरोग्यकराणां तृप्ति आहारगुणानां वेगसन्धारण अनारोग्यकराणां मद्यं सौमनस्य जननानां मद्याक्षेपो धीधृति स्मृतिहराणां गुरुभोजनं दुर्विभागकराणाम् एकाशन भोजनं सुखपरिणामकराणां स्त्रीष्वतिप्रसङ्ग शोषकराणां शुक्रवेग निग्रह शाण्ड्यकराणां पराघादनम् अन्न अश्रद्धा जननानाम् अनशनम् आयुषो ह्रासकराणां प्रमिदाशनं कर्षणीयानाम् अजीर्ण अध्यशनं ग्रहणी दूषणानां विषमाशनम् अग्निवैषम्यकराणां विरुद्धवीर्याशनं निन्दितव्याधिकराणां प्रशमपथ्यानाम् आयास सर्व अपथ्यानां मिथ्यायोगो व्याधिकराणां रजस्वलाभिगमनम् अलक्ष्मीमुखानां ब्रह्मचर्य आयुष्याणां परदाराभिगमनम् अनायुष्याणां सङ्कल्पो वृष्याणां दौर्मनस्यम् अवृष्याणाम् अयधाबलमारम्भं प्राणोपरोधिनां विषादो रोगवर्धनानां स्नानं श्रमहराणां हर्षप्रीणनानां शोकशोषणानां निवृत्ति पुष्टिकराणां पुष्टिस्वप्नकराणाम् अधिस्वप्नतन्त्रकराणां सर्वरसाभ्यासो बलकराणाम् एकरसाभ्यासो दौर्बल्यकराणां गर्भशल्यमाहर्याणाम् अजीर्णम् उदर्याणां बालो मृदुभिषाणां वृद्धो याप्यानां गर्भिणी तीक्ष्ण औषध व्यवाय व्यायाम वर्जनीयानां सौमनस्यं गर्भधारणानां सन्निपातो दुश्चिकित्सानाम् आम विषमचिकित्सानां ज्वरो रोगाणां कुष्ठं दीर्घरोगाणां राजयक्ष्म रोगसमूहानां प्रमेहो अनुषङ्गिणां जलौघसो अनुशस्त्राणां बस्तितन्त्राणां हिमवान् औषधिभूमां सोम औषधीनां मरुभूमि आरोग्यदेशानाम् आनूपो अहितदेशानां निर्देशकारित्वम् आतुरगुणानां भिषक् चिकित्साङ्गानां नास्तिको वर्ज्यानां लौल्यं क्लेशकराणाम् अनिर्देशकारित्वम् अरिष्टानाम् अनिर्वेदो वार्तलक्षणानां वैद्यसमूहो संशयकराणां योगो विद्यगुणानां विज्ञानौषधीनां शास्त्रसहिततर्कसाधनानां सम्प्रतिपत्ति कालज्ञानप्रयोजनानाम् अव्यवसाय कालाधिपत्तिहेतूनां दृष्टकर्मदा निस्संशयकराणाम् असमर्थता भयकराणां तद्विद्य सम्भाषा बुद्धिवर्धनानाम् आचार्य शास्त्राधिगमहेतूनाम् आयुर्वेदो अमृतानां सद्वचनमनुष्ठेयानाम् असद्ग्रहणं सर्वाहितानां सर्वसन्न्यास सुखानाम् इति.
Good afternoon, one and all. Myself, Dr. Gagana Sindhu. I am going to cite a shloka from Charaka Sutrasthana Ejjah Purushiya Adhyaya. Patyam pato anapetam nityachoktam manasa priyam yaccha priya patyam cha niyatam tanna lakshayet matra kala kriya bhumi deha dosha gunantaram prapya tataddi drushyante te bhavastata tata tasmat swabhavo nirtishta stata matradirashrayah tadapeksho abhayam karma प्रयोज्यं सिद्धिमिच्छिताम् मनश्शरीराग्निबलप्रदानाम् अस्वप्नशोकारुचिनाशनानाम् संहर्षणानां प्रवरासना वा निशीतिरुक्ता चतुरुतरेषा. Thank you.
Thank you all the PG scholars for the Parayana. Now we have arrived to the most awaited session, that is the insight of the chapter, which will be done by our eminent speaker, Dr. Srikanthbabu Perugu, Principal in charge, Professor and Head, Dr. BRKR Government Ayurveda College, Hyderabad, Telangana State. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ray. Namaskara to everyone. I did my PG from Mysore Government College and UG from Tirupati Government College, presently working as in-charge principal for Dr. BRKR Government Ayurveda College, which is a 82 years old institute having credibility attributed to the college. At the outset, let me say sorry for not fully going to be in this session. Actually, today we are being, this is a contingency actually. There was a PG Ayush counseling going on with today's session. I took a permission to be in the session to speak and share few of my ideas quickly. And then my assistant professor, Dr. Y. Srivani, is already joined to this session, and she will continue. And I congratulate Dr. Mamataji, the principal of Udupi College, and Lakshminarayan Shanai, who is heading the Research Institute, Mysore, and eminent personalities joined here for making me a part of this. I thank Lakshminarayan Shanai for insisting me. Actually, I was little hesitant. Thank you, Shanai, for making me a part of this wonderful session. Actually, if I am not here, I should have missed a lot, actually. But still. So coming to the chapter, Exja Purushiya, actually, to share my own personal insights are too many. But because of my personal constraints in attending the session for a longer duration, I just quote few of my ideas. These are personally my ideas. I'm not going to touch the chapter content. That will be dealt by my colleague, Dr. Srivani, further after my presentation. So there are goods and not goods mentioned in this chapter, right? So at this juncture of time, we are looking for a lot of advancements into Ayurveda. Wherever we are working with Ayurvedic sciences, we are looking for different varieties of informations in support of each statement. Earlier, we used to say Aptopadesha means Aptopadesha is the 100% parameter, but now we require to support even Aptopadeshas. This is our time. Time has brought us to this particular level. So here, you say, I'll just quote few quick examples and then I'll hand over the session to other person. So Udakam Aswasa Karanam. So Aswasana is 100% achieved by Udaka, by Bahya Prayoga or even Abhyantara Prayoga. So we need to make a study, as research teams are also part of this presentation. I would like to bring some of my suggestions before them. They can, for any sort of collaborations or developing the ideas, I'm as well ready to collaborate and develop the ideas. In fact, say Udakam, say when hot water, how much temperature of water will be giving the comfort, and what is the temperature of the water, how much of comfort it is giving, Ashwasana. So we can take the quality of life parameters available from international research tools, and then we can implement this by consuming water, chilled water to the gradual temperatures we can record from various ends. We can see and we can give the water to the person after assessing the Prakriti and all other parameters, standard parameters. Then I hope we may arrive to a conclusion that with the Prakriti persons, they can tolerate the say very chilled water. Kapha Prakriti persons may not have that much of chill, but yet they go for the room temperature water. Vata Prakriti people, they want little warmer water for Ashwasana purpose. So we can arrive to these type of conclusions by adapting simple and straight research protocols in bringing out certain usable information. If we go on taking water gives a lot of comfort, everybody will believe that. But we need to be more scientific on that pattern. Likewise, Dadi or Mantaka Abhishanda Karanam, we can see that. So Vishado Roga Vardhananam, we can see the parameters of anxiety, how the role of Rajo and Tamo Gunas along with Sattva Guna, they are playing the challenges towards the prognostic scoring system of the diseases already mentioned. We can adapt. All these tools are readily available. The only thing is we need to make a new domain and research design. So appropriate design, so that we can bring in an appropriate tool to speak authentically on each one of the stanza what they have recited now. We can see each one is capable of attributing a better credit for the system of Ayurveda, what I believe. So I'm basically a Kaya Chikitsa person heading the PG department of Kaya Chikitsa as usually. We go for innovative researches up to a certain extent every year, and new trials we will blend, and we'll go for a conventional study. Like this, we conduct the researches every year. We allot them and this. So in Agradravyas and Anagradravyas, which are not Agra and they are Nindita Dravyas, rather to say, like Avika Mamsa, Avika Kshira, like that. So we can take up all these things into an animal study and we can hope, we hope that we can definitely bring in some sort of credible informations. So with this type of outlook only, I thought of delivering all the stanzas, and I have specific opinions about this, how it can be modified like that. So say for example, Kulatta Amlapitta Janananam. We can just take a parameter of any animal, you can study its gut components, and then advocate Kulatta into different forms like Churna, Vati, and Kashayas like that, and we can feed the animal and see the acid gushing or acid changes happening in the gut. We can simply arrive to, we can just keep a tube, we can bring it down, and we can do the study. Even by using a regular tubes also, we can see the litmus test and other things. We can basically, I don't want to go for an expensive researches, create some credible data instead of simply speaking on the stanzas. We have utmost respect to the sages like Charaka Samhita, Charaka, Vagbhata, and all sages. We do pranams to them, and we believe that. We don't hesitate, we don't question the entity of the statements. We trust that statement. Before coming to an international platforms and to teach to the entrepreneurs who are entering into Ayurveda now, we need certain conclusions. We cannot say a dilemma that this may be, this could be, this can be. No, this type of informations are creating a lot of confusions into the younger minds when we interact with them actually. So any part of Agradravyas or any Snanam Semaharanam. So Sema, we can keep an index for that, and we can ask them to take the bath. Usually what much time they can spend for the bath and how much water they are consuming. You can see the body mass index and how much water it is required to get a proper bath. So this we have conducted for a hair health study. If 1 bucket of water is used for regular bathing, same bucket of water is also used for head bath. So sparing 4 or 5 extra mugs for the cleansing of hair. So which is no way sufficient to cleanse the scalp, because it has a lot of sebal secretions and stuck up in between hair follicles and normal skin there. So this creates a lot of hair diseases and promotes the hair fall and palitya, hair diseases, say weathering of the hair. You can go for n number of problems, which is just arising because of improper washing of the hair and inadequate quantity of water used for washing the hair and inadequate temperatures. So we have studied how much of temperature of water, how much of mugs you use it for scalp, and what will be your rate of fall. We have informations. So we can generate such sort of information. Each and every segment of say 25th chapter. If we come to consensus, I would also like to join and take lead in this particular project. We can involve with 25 or 30 colleges. We can select the colleges along with the research center headed by Lakshminarayan Shane from Mysore. We can design a study. We can take 25 or 30 points, and we can derive certain parameters by organizing certain deep sessions, and we can start the recordings. We can start the data collections, and we can share all that into a proper format where everybody can see every day. That need not be a concealed data, and any suggestions can be adapted, and we can upgrade the procedures of the researchers. I personally feel, say, if you go for Khadira Kushta Haranam, there is a stanza. So we all feel that Khadira will be very good. But Khadira in which form it is good for which type of Kushta? There are Ekadasha Kushtas, 7 Mahakushtas and Ekadasha Shudra Kushtas. Apart from that, the question of Kushta, defining Kushta itself is again a question again. So in such scenario, if we want to give Khadira, and where Khadiradivati is good for Mukharogas, whereas Khadira for Twak or Kushta. So how it should be justified? So in regular clinical practice, instead of prescribing Khadiradista, along with that, instead of Khadiradista, what I mean to say, Aragvadarista has a better clinical advantage in conditions. I don't say in all. So we need to define the Kashaya Vargas described by Charaka, and why these Agradravyas are not mentioned as first options in those chapters. We need to have a detailed discussion and perseverance on this, so that we can arrive to certain conclusions. So when we are going for diseases, there they say Amruta will be very good for Vata Shonita. But Amruta will not be a drug mentioned in Agraravyas again. So likewise, Pushkara Mula for Parshvashula. But if you see the Parshvashula management, Pushkara Mula will not come always in the first as a top priority. Why this jumbling has happened? And because you know that Samhita is been redacted, so multiple prints have come, so multiple additions, deletions, modifications, editings so happened. So when we were working for a Charaka new edition project, which was first of its kind after 5,000 years, we could able to launch a new edition project headed by FRED Trust, founded at USA. So we had a lot of inputs like this. Like every chapter, every area, we need to have a open-minded discussions. It is not criticizing Charaka or Susruta or Vagbhata, but criticizing our own self, how we are understanding, how we are able to understand and teach to our youngsters, because they are the future of Ayurveda tomorrow. So unless we give them certain conclusions by any way, what I mean to say, we need to derive the ways and means, but we need to give them certain conclusive points for their hand. Then only we can go further with unquestionable progression of system like Ayurveda into world. Because now you know World Health Organization is also considering Ayurveda as a prime science and they're giving equal importance. You know, if everything goes right, I think we in Hyderabad we are going to have a which was traditional practice center also. The initiations are being already in progress. So if we want our students to reach world-class Ayurveda, we need to work hard. As teachers and researchers, we, along with our knowledge and wisdom, we need to work very hard to give them handy points to carry further on each set of this. This is not only for Yajnapurushi Adhyaya. I'm telling from all the Samhitas and all the areas. So this will make their way more clear, more easier, and more progressive. With this type of, say, small sharing of my opinions, perhaps I don't mind, say, if somebody is having a different opinion, I'll accept it. I'm not constrained, but this is my opinion and my insight about teaching Samhita, because we have enough experience in teaching Samhita. And the end of the day, what will happen if a teacher teaches, if teacher want to say that alcohol is not good for your health, then I took a model that alcohol is brought to a glass of alcohol into the classroom and a glass of water into the classroom. I take visible worms and drop them into both glasses, and after some time I see that alcohol kills the worms and water media, it is more active. Then my conclusion is, I would like to say that this is harmful. But if people believe that water is still not having any, wormicidal effect, whereas alcohol is having that. So if they perceive that, that is a mistake of the teacher, as I have chosen the model to demonstrate like this. That should not happen to Ayurveda. So we need to bring in a right model to teach right point to the student, so that we can create a right path for the bright future. So with these points, I thank all the organizers for taking wonderful, painful, and very pleasantful moments with this particular program. I congratulate all the organizers for making me of this. I thank my college also for making me to share a few of my ideas, my department, and everything. And I'm very sorry I could not able to continue and stay with all of you for full time, as I have interrupted and came with a small percentage, small time. So rest of the session will be continued by Dr. Srivani, who is working as assistant professor in my department. She will take over the session. Thank you, each one of you. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Perugu sir. Perugu
Yes.
sir, thank you. Very wonderful.
Chennai, very sorry that I could not able to
No
stay
problem,
on,
no problem.
but
No
my
problem.
team will lead this session.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, thank you, sir, for your input and insight about the topic, and also motivating the Ayurveda fraternity. Now I request Madam to continue the session. Welcome
Srivani,
you, ma'am.
please take over the session. All the best.
Good evening. Am I audible?
You are
Yes,
audible, madam. You are audible.
Okay. Good evening, one and all. My pranams to all the gurus, teachers over here, well-wishers, students, best wishes to one and all. I thank one and all for being a part. I thank Dr. Srikanthbabu, sir, on behalf of whom I am present here. SDM College, SDM Ayurvedic College and Hospital, Government of Karnataka, Vishwa Ayurveda Parishad Karnataka, Government Ayurvedic Research Institute Mysore for organizing such an extraordinary session starting from Charaka Jayanti celebrations. Today we are here, I'm directly moving on to the topic. Today we are here as a part of Charaka Sambhasha on Yajja Purushiya Adhyaya. This is as a part of Charaka Chintana series. The terms Charaka Sambhasha and Charaka Chintana derive a great meaning, putting our complete involvement of Vak, Manas and Deha into the Samhita. While Acharya has described us in several circumstances about the Samhita Patana, he has emphasized us to Vidhina Patan, take it as a Vidhi to understand the Samhita. And also he says, Pratarutthaya, Kalyaha, Kruta Lakshana, Manah Purasarabihi, Vagbihi, Punar Avartayet. So read the Samhita again and again with a Swachha Sharira, Manas and Vak and understand it properly so that, and at the end of the Sutra Sthana we see a sloka saying, Sutra saying, Yasya Dvadasha Sahasri Hridi Tishtati Samhita, so Ardajnyaha, Sa Vicharajnyaha, Chikitsa Kusalascha Saha. So who has all the 12,000 sutras in mind, in the Hridaya, completely with the Trikarana Shuddhi, he will excel to be so Ardajnyaha, Sa Vicharajnyaha, Chikitsa Kusalascha Saha. Just as Dr. Srikanthbabu sir said, he who understands each and every sutra or sloka completely and practically applies it and brings it into implementation, he is successful to be a Ardhajna, Vicharajna and Chikitsa Kusalaha. At this juncture, very happy to be a part of Charaka Sambhasha with my Vak and Charaka Chintana with my Manas and Deha around with Trikarana Suddhi. All the participants have been going on with these sessions on every Thursday, starting from Charaka Jayanti celebrations. And I've been following the series with the first chapter by Dr. Ramakrishna Garu saying, we know Sutra Sthana is like a siras for Charaka Samhita, Sloka Sthanam Samudishtam Tantrasya Asya Siras Subham. And in the same way, in the Sutra Sthana, the first chapter, Dirgham Jiviti Adhyaya, sir has narrated it as the Vishwarupa Sandarsana for the Samhita, Sutra Sthana entirely. In the Dirgham Jiviti Adhyaya, we have learned like a Vishwarupa Sandarsana. Same sort of a kind of chapter is Yajja Purushiya Adhyaya. Undoubtedly, we have inferences, references, instructions, guidelines for the entire protocol of treatment, diagnosis, and complete cure of the human being. In this chapter, today, I'm happy to be a part on behalf of Sir here. The Charaka Sambhasha of this chapter goes on with the introduction of Yajja Purushiya Adhyaya. Purusho Yat Jaha. From where did the Purusha originate? Purusho Yat Jaha. It is the meaning of the title itself. From where did Yat Jaha, Purusho Yat Jaha, is Yajja Purushiya Adhyaya. And Yajja Purushiya Adhyaya being placed in the sequential order as the first chapter of Annapana Chatushka. Annapana Chatushka being the Chatushka dealing with Anna and Pana. This Yajja Purushiya Adhyaya is placed first here after completion of Yojana Chatushka. Yojana Chatushka have given a detailed, lucid description of the Shad Upakramas. When these Shad Upakramas can give desired beneficial results to the beneficiaries only if there is perfect planning and execution of Annapana. After Yojana Chatushka, indeed, Annapana is a part of Yojana, but here we understand the prime importance given by Acharya for Annapana Chatushka separately, it being a part of Yojana also. So after Yojana Chatushka, for the successful results of the beneficiaries, Annapana Chatushka was detailedly discussed by the Acharya for properly implementing the Anna and Pana regimen. Here in this chapter, we have a congregation of sages regarding the origin of humans and diseases. There was a symposium. Ayurveda is a completely evolved science where there are vivid descriptions of teaching methodologies, the way to teach, the way to understand, the way to conduct group discussions and symposiums as well. This chapter can be narrated as a play, having discussions among the teacher and student, the mutual understanding by the sages, the final concluding remarks by the Acharya. In this way, there was a congregation in the chapter where the symposium discusses about the origin of humans as well as diseases. Here in the same chapter, we have the Agriya Sangraha. In Agriya Sangraha, we have the best among the best collections and also the best among the unwholesome or worst also. And there is a mention of Asavas here, the different types of Asavas, the beneficial effects as well. When the students puts forth a query regarding Asava, the Acharya clearly narrated the different kinds of Asavas as well, starting from the method of preparation to the types as well. So let us move on to the content. Firstly, Yajja Purushiya Adhyaya in Annapana Chatushka. As we already discussed, in Annapana Chatushka, it is being placed first, wherein afterwards we have extensive description of the shed rasas, different classification of food substances which are actually put forth here and discussed in detail in the other chapters as well about the Vividha, Asita and Pita, and all these chapters in Atreya, Bhadrakapiya, Annapana Vidhi and Vividhasita Pitiya later on, which would be coming in later days. Today with the first chapter in Annapana Chatushka, we have a congregation here about the origin of humans and diseases. When Kasipati Vamaka puts forth a query regarding the theme of whether origin of humans and diseases is from the same factor or different factors, or if so, what is the origin of humans and diseases? This was the query put forth by Kasipati Vamaka. In that congregation of our ancient sages who have profound knowledge, first among the sages, Atmavada was put forth by Maudgalya Parikshi. Parikshi has put forth his Atmavada stating Atma is for origin of humans as well as diseases. Next comes Sharaloma with his Vada, the Sattva Vada. Sattva Vada, he focuses on Sattva being the causative factor for origin of humans and diseases. And then comes Rasavada by Varyovida, stating that without rasa or deha formation, how could the sattva be an origin for humans as well as diseases? Varyovida himself put forth the Rasavada for the origin of humans as well as diseases. Then comes the Shet Dhatu Vada by Hiranyaksha, telling that the Panchamahabhutas along with the Chetana Dhatu, the Shet Dhatu, are the important factors for origin of humans and diseases. After Shet Dhatu Vada by Hiranyaksha, Mata Pitru Vada has been proposed by Kaushika, stating that even when there are Shet Dhatus, Mata Pitru are the important for the origin of humans, as well as some diseases inherit from Mata and Pita into the progeny. And in this way, Kaushika states the origin of humans and diseases being Mata Pitru Vada. And then comes Bhadrakapya with his Karma Vada, stating that a blind man doesn't give, it's not mandatory that a blind man should give progeny to a blind one. It is not that Mata Pita will inherit everything. It is the Karma Vada or the past deeds which is responsible for origin of humans as well as diseases. Thus stating Karma Vada by Bhadrakapya, then Bharatvaja comes forth telling that not Karmavada. Actually, the Swabhavavada is the prime one for origin of humans and diseases. Nature itself originates humans as well as diseases as proposed by Acharya Bharadwaja. After Bharadwaja, we see that Prajapati Vada was put forth by Kankayana. Prajapati, the creator, is responsible for creation. There is a creator for the origin of humans and diseases expounded by Acharya Kankayana. After Kankayana comes our Acharya Bhikshu Atreya stating Kalaja Vada, responsible for origin of humans as well as diseases. In Kalaja Vada, Kala is responsible. It happens in the Kala by origin of humans and diseases by itself, states Bhikshu Atreya. In this way, all the 9 sages, as we see Moggallya Parikshi, Acharya Charaloma, Acharya Varyovida, Acharya Hiranyaksha, Kaushika, Bhadrakapya, Bharadwaja, Kankayana, and Bhikshu Atreya have put forth their theories stating different causes for the origin of humans and diseases. All the multiple factors like Atma, Manas, Rasa, Shrddhatu, Mata, Pita, Karma, Swabhava, Prajapati, and Kala have been considered as the source of creation of Purusha. Now we will be having the concluding remarks by our Acharya Punarvasu Atreya stating that Esham eva hi bhavanam sampat sanjanayen naran tesham eva vipat vyadhin vividhan samudirayet. The same elements whose wholesome combination give rise to the well-being of human beings brings about various kinds of diseases when combined in an unwholesome manner. So those elements which are responsible for the origin of Purusha are the origin of diseases as well. Punarvasu Atreya also states here, quotes about the Tilapidaka Nyayam, saying that same as a person who sits in front of an oil press can't attain or yield complete result if he sits and ponders upon. We can't discuss with all the partial aspects in the mind individually. It is the synergic effect of all the theories. We can't reach to the final ultimate conclusion with a single version of ours. It should be considered in a holistic manner. All the factors which are together responsible for origin of humans are only responsible for origin of diseases as well. And Acharya also states, after stating Tilapidaka Nyaya, he also states it would be a Tamaskanda. Chakrapani will tell it in this regard that Tattva Jnana Pratibandhakatva, if we discuss our single opinions and if we think it's the true or real knowledge, it should be in a holistic manner by understanding, including all and considering the factors, the multiple factors in a synergic manner. And then comes the second query by Kasipati Vamaka here. The Kasipati Vamaka questions, Sampannimittajasya Purushasya Vipannimittajasya Roganam Kim Amivriddhir Bhavati Kim Karanamiti Kim Abhivriddhi Karanamiti. Here Kasipati Vamaka puts forth another query, why the Guna Sampat of all the factors is causing the growth of humans and why the Guna Vipat is causing the diseases. Why is it happening so? Then Acharya Punarvasu Atreya answers, Hitaharopayoga ekaiva purusha vruddhikaro bhavati. Ahitaharopayoga, excuse me. Ahitaharopayoga punarvyadhi nimittamiti. Ingestion of wholesome food is the only cause of nourishment of Purusha, and unwholesome food or diet is the cause of disease. With this explanation, Agnivesha questions, how can wholesome and unwholesome be distinguished exactly? Here we can visualize a scenario of a group discussion where Agnivesha puts forth, how can wholesome and unwholesome, Hita and Ahita, be distinguished exactly? Only by, it's a matter of fact that it is observed clearly when Hita and Ahita will yield exactly opposite results if there is a variation in matra dosage, kala, the time. Kriya here, the Chakrapani commentary says, is samskara of the ahara. Bhumi is the place. Deha is the Sharira, and dosha is also included here. The typing was not done. Purusha avastha, of the angel. As a matter of fact, Agnivesha says, by the minimum variation of matra, kala, kriya, bhumi, deha, dosha, purusha, avastha, there will be exactly opposite results. Hita may land sometimes in ahita consequences, and ahita may land into hita. And when this is happening, how exactly we can distinguish between hita ahara and ahita ahara? This discussion really enlightens us a lot, even now today in this pandemic scenario with varied diseases in our OPDs. We get a doubt for many diseases which are idiopathic, which are iatrogenic, which are caused by several other factors. Even the person consumes hita ahara, hita vihara, is telling to be having some disease. Even some person who is having ahita, vihara, and habitual regimen also is not being landed into the disease protocol. How is it happening? The Agnivesha clearly questions, how can it be decided, distinguished? Then Acharya says, samams chaiva sarira dhatun takrutav sthapayati. So that which is bringing about equilibrium in the body is hita. That which is disturbing the equilibrium of the body is ahita. So with this explanation, we get a conclusion that which is bringing about equilibrium in the body is hita, and the vice versa is ahita. And in such a context, Agnivesha asks for further more explanation in this regard, and thereby the Acharya moves on explanation of different hita, ahita, ahara. The different classifications of ahara were put forth here. And also the Acharya says clearly here, dravyadi jnana, guna jnana, and karma jnana and matra jnana completely will give a physician a holistic approach to decide which is wholesome and which is not. In this case, he has put forth the different types of ahara and vihara, sthavara, jangama, hita, ahita, and the types of food based on the rasa, guna, the mode of ingestion, and innumerable combinations of food substances were discussed. And Acharya also says, that physician who has a holistic knowledge of completely acquainted knowledge of the dravya gunas and dravya karma will be able to decide the hita and ahita. And he also gave a simpler direct formula of agya dravya here for deciding which is the best of wholesome, for deciding which is the best of unwholesome. The Acharya also enlisted many wholesome diets here, as we have heard in the recitation, and also we have enlisted many unwholesome diets here. When we say Raktashali among Salidanya, Mudka among Shamidanya, Amtariksha Jala, Saindava Lavana, Jeevanti Shaka, these are all enlisted among the most wholesome collection, and some are decided as unwholesome. Even as a fact, or grossly these are told as hita and ahita. The yukti of the Acharya to decide the hita and ahita based on the rogi and roga and the matra of the dravya which is given, it should be considered in view of its guna and karma. And here Acharya puts forth the agriya sangraha. The best things shall be used as the first choice. So agriya sangraha here gives us a detailed explanation about which is the best among the wholesome, which is the best among the unwholesome as well. In this chapter, we have a mention of agriya sangraha explaining the different qualities chapter, as well as can put forth many number of articles over here. We already have many existing articles where I have quoted a few from in this presentation. We find the best action on dosha. We find the best dravyas who are having an excellent action on the dhatus. We find the dravyas with action on the malas. Coming to the doshas, let me move on initially one by one. Coming to the action on doshas, there are several agriya dravyas which were proposed to be having excellent action on doshas. As we all know, Rasna Vataharanam, Erandamulam Drushya Vataharanam, Madhu Sleshma Pitta Prashamananam, Sarpir Vata Pitta Prashamananam, Thailam Vata Sleshma Prashamananam, and these are all Prasamana things I'm telling first. And Vamanam Sleshma Haranam, Virechanam Pitta Haranam, these are Sodhana, action of Sodhana, which is the best on which dosha as well. And also we have individual drugs, Tambhavam, Vata Janananam, Duralabha, Pitta Sleshma, Prasamananam. In this way, he has hand in hand given us which is the best wholesome on the action on dosha and which is unwholesome. Here we can't call it Hita and Ahita also because we have a threefold management for positive health. Kinchit dosha prasamanam, kinchit dhatu pradushanam, swastavrittamatau kinchit. When the jambu is Vata Janana, we need to use it somewhere else, increasing Vata. When Rasa is Vata Hara, we use Vata. So, this threefold to pacifying, to have a pacifying effect, to have an aggravating effect, should directly given as a formula to us by Acharya. As Sir promptly said, absolutely said, for validation of the results, for research, having research protocols, they can directly be taken and the results can be validated in our institutions by the scholars. And if we go on to the action on dhatus, there are several dravyas. Kshiram Jivaniyanam Sreshtam, Mamsam Brahmaniyanam, Kukuro Valyanam, Yayamah Sthairya telling us about the Mamsa Dhatu, the Sharira on the whole, and also Kshara Pumstvopa Dhatinam, about the Sukra Dhatu, Gavedukanam Karshaniyanam. In this way, we have several actions depicted here clearly, showing the action on different dhatus, clearly establishing the fact of maintaining dhatu equilibrium. We have a direct regimen given here in Agya Sangraha. And also the action on Mala, we have the examples of Ikshur Mutra Janananam Sreshtam, Yava Purisha Janananam Sreshtam, and action as Prabhava in case of Shramana and Sodhana. The Dravya action as a Shramana in Prabhava, we can see Vidangam Krimikhnanam. The anti-elementic activity of Vidanga is established by several studies. It is directly given by our Acharya. We can take it as a spoon feed, Vidangam Krimikhnanam, and the researchers should validate the result by which there is more emphasis laid on that particular drug in the current scenario. Anyway, we have several drugs like that telling the prabhava of the dravya, Sirisho, Vishaghanam, Kadira COVID pandemic scenario, along with the Mula have been chosen and have seen several excellent results in the patient to protect their both respiratory as well as cardiovascular systems. Along with, always it will be along with Ahara, Vihara and Achara, Aushadha as well. These are all together give us a synergistic result. And also we have several drugs described as Prabhava, as Shamana Dravyas. As we have heard in the recitation, we can't go completely with each and every one here. Gokshurako, Mutrishna, Anilaharanam, Ajakshiram, Soshagna, Sthanya Satnya, Rakta Sangrahi, Rakta Pitta Prashamananam. In detail, there are Ahara Dravyas, there are Aushadha Dravyas given which are having a Prabhava of Shamana and Shodhana. And also particular action on different systems or srotas, as I say here. And also perhaps the Acharya has enlisted or enumerated number of etiological factors for diseases. See, Amam Kapitham Akantyanam, Avikam Sarpira Hrutyana, or Maisha Kshiram Swapna Janananam, Kulutta Amlapitta Janananam. So it's all telling about the etiological factor for various diseases. At this juncture, I would memorize one of the study of my friend Dr. Hema Sundari, who has completed her post-graduation from SP Ayurvedic College, Tirupati. Her complete study says about the Nidana, Ahara, Vihara as the Nidana for diseases with respect to Charaka Samhita. In that particular study, she has entered 94 disease conditions which were described by Acharya Charaka in the entire Samhita If we can clearly browse that article over which is available, the link can be provided. 94 disease conditions from the entire Charaka Samhita were enlisted, where the mention of the disease was there, and the Aharaja Nimitta, the Viharaja Nimitta, the Manasika Karanas or the emotional factors, and the others. In Viharaja Nimitta, both the activities as well as the Vegadharana and all are included. When the list was enlisted, showing among 94 diseases which were described by Acharya Charaka in all the sthanas, the etiological factor, very important role to be understood, because among 94 diseases, 91 diseases have ahara as a nidana karana in their particular nidana of the disease. 91 diseases among 90, see the percentage it could be, has ahara as the nidana karana, and 79 diseases vihara as the nidana karana. 77 diseases have manasika karanas as the nidana karana. Other 52 diseases have other reasons other than the aharaja nimitta, viharaja nimitta and manasika nimitta. So here we can understand Acharya has been focusing, emphasizing again and again regarding nidana parivarjana for effective management. We expound it in detail so that we can understand this is the best or first etiological factor for causing this disease, hence leave it. So in this way we can guide the patient. Here also in etiological factors we find ayadha balam arambaha pranoparodhinam. When a person is going beyond his strength, we are seeing several examples nowadays among common people, celebrities, when they work or exercise or do some act or beyond their one's own strength. When the person is working or acting beyond one's own strength, it is first cause for hindrance of life. We have been seeing it in the present scenario. So, in this way, action as an etiological factor for diseases also cited in the present current COVID pandemic scenario. We should protect our immunity. I would like to emphasize on yukti krita vyadhi kshamata. It is our yukti, where allopathic medicine speaks about vyadhi kshamatva for a particular disease, immunity for a particular disease in regard to immunization schedule. When immunization of modern medicine gives about a particular disease, our immunity speaks about the holistic strength being built up by the person to combat the disease, to fight the disease, coming out of the disease very easily, which we have done effectively in the COVID scenario. Here I have highlighted the red ones, which are all very strong supporting pillars, which I have done a study for safeguarding our yukti krita vyadhi kshamatva. Indeed, all are important, and these particularly are very important to safeguard our yukti krita vyadhi kshamatva. Here we see annam vrittikaranam shreshtam, mandakam dari abhishandikaranam shreshtam. So better take buttermilk. We have several forms. Takram, Akra described in our texts. And Shira Grita Bhyaso Rasayananam, Samagrita Saktu Prasa Bhyaso Vrishya Udavataranam, Atimatrasanam Ama Pradusha Hetunam. So, where else we can find even more diet and dietetics than this? Where else we can find an excellent theory wherein we can learn into success, where we have been described excellently about the matra, the type of ahara, the vidhi of ahara, how to consume, what to consume, at what time to consume, in which manner to consume, and among that also which is the best, which is the worst, excellently given here. And next, yada agniya pyavaharo agni sandhukshanana, tala bhojanam arogya karanam, sarvarasa bhyaso balakaranam, ekasa bhyaso daurbalya karanam, and there are many other trupti ahara gunanam, guru bhojanam durvipaka karanam. If we go on explaining, each one takes much time to go. Here in front of many of my gurus, I would just like to move on. Ajirna Uddharyanam. We have Sarve Rogapi Mandagno, and clearly again the Acharya says Ajirna Uddharyanam. That which should be first answered is Ajirna, so that we can be coming out and shouldn't fall prey to several other disease conditions. Here coming to Vyadhi is, and also how much amount of vyayama, how much time duration the vyayama should be done. It is individual constrict. It will be going on changing from individual to individual. These are all discussed in detail by our acharyas, giving even more gratitude towards them. How come they have described it in an excellent manner, lucid manner. And Kaila Gandusha Abhyaso Danta Bala Ruchikaranam Nitya. With our Gandusha Abhyasa, we can even prevent even more and more Danta Rogas. And with that Gandusha and several other Churna preparations also for Danta Dhavana and Gandusha, we can use dental. Am I audible, ma'am? Am I audible?
Audible, madam. You are audible. You are audible. Madam, you are audible.
Okay. Vidya Yogo Vyadhikaranam. So, Sankalpo Vrishyanam. If we see here, the Manasika Karanas as well. As we have discussed, Manasika Karanas, we find several here. If we go on in Bihar, Vega Tarana is a causative factor for disease. Vega Sandarana, Manarogya Karanam. These are all as a part of Vihara. And I would like to include Manasika also here, where Daurmanasyam Avrushyanam. If we go on to several conditions of infertility nowadays, at the end of all the investigations, they come to a conclusion. And finally, there is a counseling for the couples stating Daurmanasyam Avrushyanam, Sankalpo Vrishyanam Sreshtam. The Sankalpa is itself the best for Vrishya effect. Sankalpa Vrishyanam, Aharaja Nimitta, Viharaja Nimitta, and Manasika Nimitta. Among them also Acharya has expounded the best one. Among treatment aspect also, the best among the Shamana, the best among the Sodhana, the worst to be picked up for the process of treatment protocol. All these are extensively explained by our Acharya, and also he says, Prasamaha Pathyanam, Ayasaha Sarva Pathyanam, Vishado Rogavardhananam, and Snanam Samaharanam, Harsha Prinananam, Soka Soshananam. These all clearly explain us which is the etiological factor, and Nidana Parivarchana can be instructed so as to safeguard our Vyadhi Kshamatva and improvise it, update it with our Yukti, so that we can be successful by ourselves and also in treating the subjects. This is from a research study which we provided, where it states the effect on those I have already discussed. Jambavam, Vata Janananam, Masha, Sishkulyo, Avikshiram, Pitta Slishma Vardhananam. And this here actually ABC is stating about the references from all the three Samhitas is taken from a study. In this line, multiple studies can be coming forward, validating the results even more stronger and emphasizing, putting forth the opinions of our acharyas even in a more stronger manner. Here we see Kshiram Jivaniyanam, Mamsam Brahmaniyanam, Rasa Tarpaniyanam, and many others which are stating their action on dhatus for dhatu pushti and dhatu rasa as well, so that we use whichever is required in case of Vruddhi or Samya Acharyas here by Charaka and Ashtanga Sangrahakara. This is about the action of Prabhava, Vidanga Krimighnanam, Sirisho Vishaghnanam, Kadiraha Kushtaghnanam, Amalati Vayasthapananam. These are all already discussed, which are the best, having the best properties to be chosen in case of a particular condition. There are direct results put forth in front of us, which we can validate, which we can see, which we can yield results in our subjects. And action of Abhyasa, Takrabhyas. We have also Takrabhyaso, Grani Dosha, Sofa, Arso, Gruta Vyapat Prasamananam, Shira Gritabhyaso, Rasananam, Kama Grita Saktu Prasabhyaso, which can be followed as a part of our dinner and to prevent and protect ourselves. Given 152 in the sloka, we find 155 155, 156, 157, different, 3 different numbers in different books. So we can attribute to the Agniveja Krute Tantre, Charaka Pratisamskrute, so Drudabala Sampurta, and later on we have different versions by different authors, wherein the number is a bit varying, but 152 was given in the sloka. With this Agriya Dravya, and next coming on to the description of Asava, in the same chapter, the Asavas are prepared by the process of fermentation, whose combinations, different combinations are possible for preparing the Asavas, and the effect of Asava depends upon the or method of preparation, duration of fermentation, place of preparation, mode of preservation. All these, each one were clearly explained in a lucid manner, which we can ponder upon while the time of preparation. Mode of preservation, the quantity. Asava help in strengthening the mind, body, and even the Agni. Such preparations will expel the insomnia, depression, anorexia, and induce acceleration. Is direct meaning of the sloka in the Samhita. And there are 84 asavas described here in this context. There are different types of dhanya asava, phalasava, and the number is also enumerated. Finally, telling 84 asavas and the beneficial effects of asavas. There is a detailed mention of the types of asavas, even the 6 subtypes, the 6 subtypes of dhanya asava, the 26 of phalasava. In this way, all subtypes are explained in detail in the same chapter, which the student generally miss here. Charaka Samhita, if we visualize as a student, it is something different, tough to handle in certain circumstances. A researcher finds a treasure of knowledge in the Samhita, and for a person who is appearing for AAP, Charaka 45% of marks. So the vision which we see as a teacher, as a researcher, as a student, as a scholar, as a person going to a competitive examination, all these numbers we generally in Yajja Purshi Atyaya, which is just missed by the student. And next comes, finally, I'm concluding my Sambhasha today by again putting forth the Acharya Vachana, Vaidya Samuho Nissamsaya Karanam. This Vaidya Samuha with pranams, I say, I being a student participating here in front of many of my gurus and aptas, Vaidya Samuho Nissamsaya Karanam Sreshtam, Shastra Sahita Tarka, with the logic, critical thinking based sadhana. It is the best sadhana for attaining the truth. Tadvidya Sambhasha Buddhivardhananam Sreshtam. Finally, Ayurvedo Amrutanam Sreshtam. Satvachanam Anushtheyanam Sreshtam. The Satvachana which we have heard in all the previous series of this Charaka, all the previous adhyayas as a part of this Charaka Chintana series in Charaka Samhita. I bow my head with due regard to all the acharyas being made me present here today to be participating in this session. I'm immensely blessed to be a part of this session on behalf of Sir Srikanthbabu sir here. Thank you very much, the organizers, management of STM College, Udupi, Government Research Institute, Mysore, Government of Karnataka, and Vishwa Ayurveda Parishad Karnataka for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much. As a kid in front of groups, to correct me wherever necessary, and thank you all for making me a part. Namaste. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, madam, for simplifying the chapter and sharing your knowledge with us. Now the session is open for discussion. Anyone has questions, they can ask the question. we will continue the session.
Yeah.
Moving towards the end of yes sir. Moving towards end of this program, I would like to convey heartfelt gratitude to all the dignitaries and audience of Charaka Sambhasha organized by STM College of Ayurveda and Hospital Udupi, members and officials of Department of Ayush, Government of Karnataka, Vishwa Ayurveda Parishad Karnataka and Government Ayurveda Research Center Mysore. I am thankful to Padma Vibhushana Dr. Veerendra Hegadeji, President STMES Ujire, for his immense support in quality enhancement and innovative programs. I take the opportunity to thank Dr. Mamta KV, Principal STMCA Udupi, for being with us in the program. Thank you very much, Madam. Sincere thanks to Dr. Lakshminarayan Shanai, Sir is with us, Director, Government Ayurveda Research Center, Mysore, for the opportunity.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Heartfelt thanks to the guest speaker of today's session, Dr. Srikanthbabu Perugu, and also we have witnessed the knowledge of Dr. Y. Srivani Raghavendra Madam, Assistant Professor, Department of Kaya Chikitsa from the same college. Thank you very much, Madam, for enlightening us with your knowledge. We are thankful to Dr. Rao, Dean, PG and PhD Studies, STMCA Udupi, Dr. Nagaraj, MS, STMCA Udupi, PG scholars who have beautifully recited today's matter of concern. Dr. Vijendra Bhatt, who is an Organizing Secretary of Charaka Sambhasha, Dr. Srinidhi Danya, Dr. Arhan, Dr. Yogesh Acharya, Dr. Arun Kumar, Dr. Nishant Pai, Dr. Sadanand Bhatt, Dr. Sandesh Shetty, the members of organizing committee of this event. Thank you all the audience and associates of Charaka Sambhasha session 25. Thank you all.